All right, show's live. Hello, hello. Let's see. Unfortunately, I need my glasses. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Southern Virginia Homestead. You're watching World Without Rule. Today I'm here with my lovely assistant.
Oh, okay. Whatever that was.
They have the chat window up, but it's probably just an advertisement for the video. I will be careful. Okay. How's everybody doing this evening? Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are here. It rained for a week straight, and we were flooded with rain. And then it stopped, and it became sunny, and it was in the 50s today. The wind is crazy. It's crazy, crazy wind. So looks like we got Miss Nina from Rural Readiness, Prepper X, Frank Burns, Courtney Bell, and let me just pop in this participants list to see who else. It's not working properly. That's okay. Whatever it does anyway. So welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. Mom Slayer. Hi, moms. She's saying hi, Tim, and hi, Mrs. I got my lovely wife here. She's going to try to monitor the chat. She's more of a noob than I am, so that's all right. Just here, just bear with us for a moment here. I think it just comes. I don't know why it did.
So this is all new to me. So bear with me.
Yeah, and it's not really new to me, but I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what happens.
Get ready to play at the all-new Rosie Stadium Emporium. Join the club for your...
All right, there you go. So, old man, how you doing? Good to see you. So today, as I said, it rained, and then it got sunny. It got nice out, but it's super windy. I don't know if you could hear it. We actually had a tree crash down on our rear shed. Part of it's kind of dilapidated and really probably overdue to be torn down anyway. But I have been storing some stuff in there, so it's not totally devastating. It didn't look like it really damaged it. It was just sitting right behind it. It kind of just leaned forward. But it's been really, really windy. We got a bench over there. It blew over. And it's just one of those things, the weather is crazy down here. Because like I said, we had monsoon rains for a week. I had standing water in the lawn everywhere, and it's just been crazy. And then it stops, and like that, it's gorgeous out. It was 55 when we came home from church, or 50 something.
Yeah,
sunny
nice
and awesome, except for the wind. We got up here now downtown. It wasn't too bad. You get up here on the hill, and you really get some wind. But what's going on?
So it's Southern Ohio. I think she's hiding because she doesn't want to get anybody else sick, or he.
Oh, that's he, Grumpy. Grumpy, I'm sorry to hear that you had the flu. I know his son had the flu the other day. Yeah, that's terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. I guess it's going around, right? Like, I don't know, not much to do about it, unfortunately. I never get the flu shots. For some reason, I just never had much faith in them. And I actually work with a guy who got one every year, and then right afterward got the flu every year. So it kind of seemed like a no-brainer to me not to get them. But there's two schools of thought on that, and whatever. I understand that. So we're just kind of.
Courtney's saying of what's going on in this world, which is a really good question.
Well, it's all one world, Courtney. We're in the same world you are. But what's going on in our world? Not a lot, really.
No, I think she meant in this world, like the world we're all in.
Oh,
it's just so crazy out there. I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, could be. We could expound if there was something specific. So, I want to try to get a little more comfortable doing live streams, and so that's one of the reasons I was able to talk to my wife into coming on with me, because
twisted my arm.
I feel a little more comfortable when like misery loves company type thing. It's awkward a little bit, but when I have her with me, then it's not so bad. My normal exposure to live stream is when I go on Backwards Law on Monday night, and then I don't have to steer it or set it up or do any of that, so it's kind of easy, right? But here, most of I broke my ankle a while back, 10 weeks ago. feels like 10 months. We were just discussing that before, but I haven't done a lot of videos or a lot of really, at first I thought like, well, I'm gonna be hanging around, like sitting in my chair. I'll have plenty of time to do YouTube and do videos, but it just, it does something to you psychologically too. Like it wears you down. And then not to mention, just like getting up to go to the bathroom, just to walk across the floor is, painful, and it's, what's the right word when you try to put it off?
It's effort. There's so much effort. But I do have to just interrupt because somebody said snack here. So it looks like that Prepper X is the leader of the Snack Underground Railroad.
I don't know
I don't know what that means, but I love snacks.
I don't have any snacks. Yeah. I'll have a banana occasionally, or, there's some healthy snack. Occasionally I'll have a cheese stick. But I don't condone the use or consumption of any kind of like sugary snacks. Just want to make that clear.
Brownies.
It's
even fruit. From fruit to brownies.
I like fruit.
Brownies to fruit.
I like fruit.
Yes.
I like fruit. I like brownies. Somebody's trying to get me in trouble. But so I haven't really done a lot of videos, and part of that is because being trapped in the house, I look outside and there's a million things I got to do. And like now, I mean, we're in the 40s, it's in the 50s today, but even before the rain, like we're getting weather up in the 40s most days. And so if it's not raining, that's a good day to go out and work outside. As far as I'm concerned, like anything above freezing is okay. And I look out now and I see like stacks of pallets, and
so do I see them.
I got some corrugated metal I'm going to make some raised beds with. We got a load of compost. I think I mentioned that before. We actually broke down and bought some compost, which I really didn't want to do, but we have to fill all the beds, and we just needed an initial.
Oh, that's smooth arm move, huh? I know, he's pretty good with that. He's got to be careful with the flowers, though, because they're real close.
You want to lose those flowers.
Don't want to lose them.
But
that was my good find. I know I'm interrupting, but that was $4, 12.
Well, and they were fresh and they were good. It was a good find.
Yeah.
Like
I love fresh
when
flowers.
Linda goes to the store, her eye automatically, like a magnet, goes to the clearance section. And so if something's a good deal, then we'll take ownership of it, even if we don't know what it is. But if it's if it's regularly $12 and it's on sale for $2, we have to buy it. Even though we have no clue what it is, we've never needed it, we don't even know how to use it, but it's just such a good deal we can't pass it up. But I digress. So what was I talking? Oh, the corrugated metal and the compost. So we have some bins. I set up some pallet bins out in back, and I'm collecting leaves. I want to make leaf mold, and we're putting organic, like when we broke the garden down last fall. All the old stalks and everything went in there, and composting all that. And I have a bin, a closed bin, and I could do it together, but I think I mentioned this when I did the gardening video. I just wanted to keep the rodents and stuff under control. So I have a closed, it's an IBC tote. It's just because when I moved in, that's just what I threw in there so I could start composting all the kitchen scraps right away. This year, I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to use both halves of that for something else. And I'm going to make a tumbler composter. And I've got all the stuff for it. Maybe some of the hardware, maybe not some of the hardware, but most of the stuff I already have for it. So that's another project that I want to get going when I get out there. And we're composting the leaf mold. And, we've got tons of leaves and stuff like that. And it takes a few years for that to break down. And ultimately, I want to be at the point where I don't have to buy any compost or get any compost from external source. And actually, I want to be there next year. I wanted to be there right from the start, but it just wasn't realistic, because when I make these raised beds, I'm going to need approximately 15, 20 yards of material to fill them. And so to make that kind of compost to the point where it's viable and ready to grow in is going to be a couple of years. So what I want to do is put that in first, and then starting next year, hopefully the first pile will be enough to where I can add to it. And even if it's not completely broken down, like say in the fall, I'll add it to it, and then it'll sit in there all winter. And by spring, if I'll just turn it in, and it should be fine. I'm hoping that it will be. That's my plan on that. But I guess, you know, a lot of this stuff I'm gonna videotape and kind of try to take you guys along with.
Wait.
Okay.
Masto saw a kitty, and that's my Zelda. I inherited her from my daughter.
Satan. That's
no,
Satan.
El Diablo.
He calls her.
But also Nina's talking about really tired with classes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I know Miss Nina's been taking some courses for some different certifications at work, and you know what, Miss Nina, I feel for you because I know exactly what that's like, and it's tiring. And you know what? It'll all be worth it. It'll all be worth it when you're done. Oh, Nina, thank you so much. That was so generous of you. That's a $10 super chat.
This is fun.
Too kind. That's too kind. We appreciate you. Appreciate Nina. Appreciate everybody. But I know that doing those courses, and I went through that when I did my electrical exams, right? They cram everything into one like time frame, so that when you go to do the exam, it's kind of fresh. And it was very, very stressful, very tiring. And I'm actually taking some courses now at the local Bible college, and it's tough. It's tough, especially I know, Nina, that, and even if I did know, I wouldn't out you, but I know that
I'm a snack. That's okay.
Thank you, sir.
He's actually doing pretty good.
I am. I did lose a few pounds.
I think yeah.
Yeah, but thank you, Prep Rocks. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody in here. As I was saying, Miss Nina, I wouldn't out you if I did know your age, and I don't specifically know, but I'm pretty sure that you're a little bit younger than me. And at our age, or I'll speak for myself, at my age, those classes become harder because the older we get, you know, it's been 40 years since I was in school. And so it gets harder for me anyway. It does. The longer you're not in it, the harder it is to get back in.
Thank you, Ken. I love those flowers. I'm sorry, roses.
That's all right.
Yeah. And plus, you know what? So he Backwoods Law said, hey,
oh, hey, Backwoods.
He said, you didn't tell me you were going live.
Full of diggers. Hey. You're right. We didn't. I just kind of did last minute on. Teddy from Teddy's Gun Shops in here. Ken, purple.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not paying attention. I can't.
I'm trying to interrupt, but I don't want to let.
Yeah, feel free to interrupt.
Okay.
So anyway, I know how it is with the classes, and you know what? Hang in there, Nina. I'm proud of you that you're doing it, and it's going to be worth it in the end. You get that. I know that it comes with not only bump in salary, right? Like we were talking about the other day, but it's just the satisfaction of doing it and getting the knowledge and, you know, the confidence that it gives you and with doing your work and all that. And so kudos to you for doing that. I've actually got a list of things that I want to do. I've started on a couple of them, and I just have trouble getting into that learning groove. The ham license is going to be next on my list. Maybe after I get through this semester.
Thanks for the hugs, everybody. I mean, I guess does that to us, or is that like, are they having their own conversation?
Yeah. Could be both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Oh, Ken Thomas got to go. Bye, Ken.
Take care, Teddy. Thanks for coming. A friend of mine from work, whenever I used to work in Connecticut, Ken Thomas, he's in the chat. We're just leaving.
Oh, is that our Ken?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He's got a small YouTube channel, Teddy's Gun Shop. And he's, I tell you what, Ken's a backyard.
Thanks, Backwoods Law.
Ken's
a hug just for me. I'm just saying.
What about me? No hug for me?
Tim always hugs mine.
But, Ken is a backyard engineer. It's pretty amazing the stuff that he did. He made this, he does reloading, and he took an old 5-gallon bucket and cut it down, and he made a bullet feeder, shell feeder to automatically feed into the. He watched videos on ones that you can.
I love soup. You know,
ones that you
you
can
know who
buy
I'm
in a
talking to.
store, and he made one. It's worth checking out. If I can figure it out, I'll try to link his channel. But he's pretty interesting. He does some pretty cool stuff. He found a treadmill on the side of the road, and he rigged it up with another bucket. He took the belt off the conveyor, and he sawed the base off and shortened it up, and brought the control thing down so it compacted it. And he uses it to tumble the brass. It's pretty cool. He's pretty ingenious, so it's worth checking out if anybody has an inkling to do that. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to figure everybody out.
Okay.
SOP, but I figured out who that is. Southern Ohio Prepping.
Southern Ohio Prepping, yep. And then
That's that base.
oh, what else we got here? Oh, okay. So, hi, Mouse. I don't know if I did hear you mention her before though. So let's just see. Oh, okay, yeah, they're talking amongst themselves.
They got in. Some else chose. He went in my pantry and tried to get split PC.
Uh-oh.
Well, look, at the same time.
Get shot.
Backwards law, and you said at the same time.
That's a way. That's a good way to get yourself shot.
Shame on him, Miles. That's right.
So you know, I guess I don't know. We probably won't run it that long. I don't know. We don't really have an agenda, but we just wanted to kind of touch base. I kind of just wanted to, as I said, I'm trying to brush up on my live stream skills or exposure, and just to kind of give everybody a heads up to date on where we are. And I haven't really been making any videos or doing much this week on my channel, or this last couple months since my ankle got hurt, and mainly because of that reason. But I know also Purple had asked the other day about the next chapter for the story, The New Babylon, over on Patreon, and that's got you know, it's an excuse, right? Nothing else, but I don't have the drive to do any of this stuff. Like this ankle thing, and I shouldn't even really say it because I don't want to be negative and down and out, doom and gloom as me, because I got a lot to be thankful for. I really do. I'm blessed every day. But if I'm being honest, this ankle thing has really taken the wind out of my sails. Like I get up in the morning, I sit on the edge of the bed, and it's like, here we go again. You know, like I'm gonna make the walk out to the chair, sit down, and then 15 hours from now I'll come back and go to bed. And basically that's it. Like I just got to the point where a couple weeks ago where I could leave the house just to go to church or whatever, leave an hour here, an hour there. But and I know like slowly it'll get better, but it's just it's defeating, it's debilitating, and like more psychologically than physically. I think, because I'm at the point where I'm not in constant pain anymore. I'm not, I'm limited. Like I say, it's kills me to look outside and see everything that's got to be done. I can't get out there. But again, there's people in way worse shape than I am, way worse off than I am. I really have nothing to complain about. I really nothing but blessings and nothing to be thankful for in life. So
Purple T-Bear says, well, then don't do it until you are in the right frame of mind. I want a great chapter, and I know your head and heart need to really be in.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's 70 or 80% written. And in the last few days, I go back and I open up the thing. I did it before the live chat about an hour ago. I'd open up the program and I'd sit there and I'd type in like a word, and then I'd erase it, and then I'd sit there and I'd look at it, and it just whatever. It is what it is. It'll come. That's the kind of thing. It's like a creative thing. You can't. It's got to just come when it comes.
Yeah.
If you try to force it, then it usually isn't any good.
And Mouse Toad says now you're just healing. So this is healing time for you. Yeah, I gotta just interject though, because he talks a lot. So I'm trying to figure out when I can just jump in. But I do want to say a few things. One, he's a really good patient. And you can tell he really wants to get better because he does all his exercises, he ices it, and he's supposed to be putting pressure on it now, and he's trying to do that, So he really wants to get out there, and you could just tell. And that's number one. And then I told him, I said, the first chance we get that he can go to Rural King, we got that to the floor too. I really want to go to Rural King and have that popcorn.
They got good popcorn.
Yeah.
There. And it's like Tractor Supply on steroids with guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do like.
So we got that to the floor.
And I was looking out there today. My wife had to go out because we have the compost that was delivered, and we put a tarp on it so it wouldn't blow away. And of course, the wind has been vicious.
Purple tea bear. I think we're friends.
And the tarp's blowing all over the place. There were logs on it, but the wind was, I mean, I felt like it could have lifted the house up. I know it sounds crazy, but it was catastrophic wind. It is quieting down a little bit now.
We took video of it too.
We did. I'm going to try to post that if I can, but it's 9 or 12 hours to upload it because it's like 48 seconds of video on
That's so true.
my cell phone. But you know, it kills me because
Purple Tigger loves Rural King. Just saying.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Rural King? Right?
Yeah.
But I'm watching out there because Linda had to go out there and try to put bigger. I cut down these locust posts. They're like 7-8 feet long, and she had to go down there and lug them from the back to try to hold the tarp down. I'm thinking like, man, it's killing me. I want to get out. Like I could just grab the tractor, throw them on, and bring over 8 at a time. But then, you know, she's not comfortable driving the tractor, and I can't get out there. It's like, whatever. It's just one of those things. It just psychs me out, I guess.
Yeah, but it worked out. It really did. I mean, I went out there 2 or 3 times, but I think now it's a good fix. But the wind is dying down too, so whatever. Hey, so Dad on YouTube.
Oh, hey, Dad.
He wants to know what Rural King is.
Rural King is like Tractor Supply. I mean, okay, so we come from Connecticut, right? In Connecticut, they have Tractor Supply. So I'm not 100% sure where you're from, Dad, on YouTube, but we have Tractor Supply, and we have them down here too in Virginia, but we have them in Connecticut, and they sell, you know, farm equipment, and you can get the baby chicks. They have them in at a certain point, and just anything really farm related.
Sergeant Mike.
I don't think that's ironic.
Oh.
And so that's Tractor Supply. So Rural King is like a bigger scale of that. They've got like way more stuff. They carry a lot of like they carry like pressure canners and, you know, apple cider vinegar and different foods and
popcorn, big bags of popcorn. But
it's complimentary. You go in there, they give you the popcorn. You eat it as you shop.
Does Rural King have chicks? That's what
I think they do.
Because
they do.
Because somebody here said that
they have some kind of. They did have chicks because that time we were looking at that big tank.
They're so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and Rural King, unlike Tractor Supply, has guns. And so, pretty sure. So because I can't think of his handle right off the bat.
Nighthawk Adventures. Yeah, it's me.
Oh, it is Nighthawk. Okay.
Yeah, we have been thinking a lot about you.
Yeah,
we really have.
Yes,
we have been.
So. Thank you for identifying yourself, because I'm used to seeing Nighthawk Adventures.
I was excited.
Sergeant Mike, and I was saying, I thought there was a different Sergeant Mike at one point. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so Rural King is awesome. If you live in an area where there's a Rural King, it's definitely worth the trip. And
LOL, it dawns on Timo.
That's how things happen.
That's how things happen. That's so true.
Sun shines when you don't expect it. Boom, it hits you in the head. I'm a little slow sometimes. But yeah. So where were we? Oh, we're just talking so go back to the story for a second, right?
What story?
The story that I'm writing on Patreon. So like, you know, I kind of am at a crossroads with part of it too, because I made the mistake of paralleling some of the characters to people that exist in real life. And some of them are in here and know who they are. And you know what? I wouldn't even say it's a mistake, because I thought it was kind of like a quirky thing, and I'm glad I did it because it has some advantages, because people reading it identify with some of those people, and it's been interesting. But now I'm at the point where
Purple Tea Bear is funny, and Publius,
okay.
Publius, did you say hi to him?
No, I didn't. Hi, Publius.
Okay, all right, good.
So I'm at the point where, okay, in my last story that ran on YouTube, I produced it every week for over a year, and I dealt with a lot of like mechanical issues, the mechanical things that come up with like in that survival post-collapse, right? Going out on patrol, you know, how groups dealt with each other, how they dealt with marauders, how they dealt with the corrupt government, things like that. And so in this story, right from the beginning, I wanted to deal more with like the emotional and psychological and interpersonal relationship aspects of a post. So I didn't want it to just be the same story with different characters in the different settings, so to speak. So I try to shift it to that, and I've been trying to do that, but I'm at the point now where it's came up a couple times and I pushed it down, and I'm at
Thank
the
you
point
for
where
the flowers. I'm sorry.
it's okay. I'm at the point where I can't deny it now, but I'm at the point where I think I need to kill off one of the very major characters in order to look at some of those interpersonal, that aspect that I want to showcase. And when I first thought about it, I pushed it off. Then I thought about it again, I pushed it off. But I'm at the point now where it's like, I think I have to do it, but I don't really want to do it. And so because I made those characters relatable and recognizable, that it almost feels like I'm killing off a friend, so to speak. So
no, okay.
When it happens, don't take it that way.
We're in two different worlds. I'm having fun. This is fun.
Almost everybody's in a different world for me.
So Publius was plowing snow. Just saying.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I miss snow a little bit. Not really, but like a little bit. Like I miss looking out the window at it.
Yeah,
I don't miss shoveling it and all that. We did have that, 22 inches that we had the first storm. And my neighbor across the street says that's like the 30 years since we had a storm like that down here. So,
they're blaming
of course, the month
all the rain,
we show up.
The wind,
yeah,
the snow, it's all our fault.
Somewhere deep down inside, they have to know it's not our fault.
I don't know.
But, so other than that, we're just plugging away. Things are going great. I mean, as soon as my ankle gets healed, I'm going to have a lot of new content. I'm going to hit it hard this spring. I want to get out there.
8 to 10-foot drifts.
Oh,
wow.
Whereabouts, Publius? If you don't mind me asking. I know a lot of the north has been getting hit with snow, right? We were talking to a friend of ours in Connecticut. I know they got some. What was it last week? I guess
had some individuals get relieved the night of temperature.
Oh, I think you mentioned something about that well, I'll tell you later what I know about it, which is a lot. Yeah.
Iowa.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of areas are getting hammered with snow. I actually watch a channel that's it's called The Outdoorsman. No, The Outsider. The Outsider. And him and his dad are building a cabin by hand. They're cutting down all the logs. They're in Canada, somewhere in Canada. They're cutting down all the logs. He bought a mill, brought it out, hauled it out to the site. They like literally dug the rocks up to put the pour in the footings, and but they've got a ton of snow too. I think it's a bad year for snow if you live in a snow area. FLP could probably test that. I believe he's getting some snow too this year. And then Pennsylvania too, right, has gotten their share of snow.
Yeah, Publius said that. It's beautiful. He goes, but he really wishes he had that tractor with a cab.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. We used to.
With heat.
Yeah. There's nothing like them. I always liked the Kubota tractors. I actually have a Kubota. When I worked in Connecticut, I worked for the school system, and we've been buying them for a couple decades. And the school system was buying them. And they had the enclosed cabs, and they always ran snow blowers, which is, if you have snow and a tractor, this is only my opinion, there's no better equipment than a snow blower attachment for your tractor. So the one we had was 54 inches. It was a BX22. It was a 22 horse. It was a fairly small, subcompact or compact tractor. And
that's what Publius would get, he said.
Yeah, and it had the snow blower, and it had the enclosed cab, and the heat, and when it's -10 and the wind's blowing, I mean, it's got the one we had the vinyl doors, so it sealed okay, but like you'd get some fresh air in there too. When it's -10, that you still got to wear a coat. It's not like you can go in a thing in a t-shirt.
Is that small little thing that you had to fold into?
That was the one at Vogel. That was a little older model. Yeah. The one at Southwest was a little bit. Nicer. It was the same size tractor basically, but the cab was a little bit. It was a newer, so they had made some ergonomic changes to the cab. But it's well worth it's in my opinion for doing snow, because we had a skid steer loader, and we had an F550 plow truck with the diesel motor, which is a beautiful truck for pushing snow. They'll push a mountain of snow. And then we had the Kubota tractor, and that Kubota was the best unit, because around, like, it depends where you are, I suppose, but like at the school we had 11 acres, and the bus loop was pretty tight to the building. It had parking lots on one side and sidewalks on the other. So when you plowed it, it would just build up on the side and fall back out. Like there was really nowhere to go with it. It was a snow blower. You could, if you're close enough to the building, you could put it on the roof of the building. And then if you're out, you just blow it way out into the parking lot, and then we would use the truck to plow the parking lot. So if you synchronized it in such a way that you did the bus loops first, you can just push it and then blow it into the parking lot and then push it out.
So Backwoods Law had a lot of fun today. He said, repack the medic bag and waterproofed everything so I don't have a mess if it gets wet. So,
nice.
So Publius was saying that he never thought of that.
Never thought about
like waterproofing everything, because if you go after the gauze and it is soaked or has mold on it, so you got to be real conscientious of that. I know.
Yeah.
There's like layers and layers and layers with the
and they make too. They make different size ones, but I know I have one of those ILB Marine Corps, and it's big, and it's too big for anything. If I loaded it up, I wouldn't even be able to carry it. But then, like someone pointed out, you don't have to fully load it. But they make dry bags, and they make them all different sizes anyway. But I know they make one that exactly fits in there. I saw a video on it once, and so like that's always an option too, right? And I think a good option, because those dry bags, they're like made. It looks like to be. I've never seen one, only in video, but they look to be like a rubberized material, and the way they seal down, they're completely waterproof. And then they fit right inside the backpack, and so that's a good way to go. I think, in my opinion, for something like that. We're hoping, of course, everybody hopes, I suppose, not to ever have to bug out. We're kind of maybe into our jeopardy, putting all our eggs sort of in one basket here. But it's life too, right? It's everyday life. So we're trying to set things up here, and we have a long way to go. I know we talked about it before. We gotta figure out a way to, the well pump and get that on a kind of an even keel, where if we lose power, we can have that still. We did lose power during that 22-inch snowstorm for what, 13 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours?
Yeah, 12 hours.
Yeah, not really sure. Sometime in the middle of the night it went out. I came back 2 in the afternoon, probably about 12 hours. But when you don't have your well pump, it's difficult. And so then we look at generation. We talked about this in one of Backwoods Law's live streams tonight. But you talk about
Backwoods Law says, yep, they are either PVC or vulcanized rubber.
Oh yeah,
those are we had in the Army.
Yeah, yep. There are a lot of military Prepper X probably seen him. I'm sure he's seen him in Coast Guard too. And I believe it's probably not a bad investment at some point. So we're trying to set things up here to get more self-sufficient just here, and then we do kind of have a plan for bug out if we ever had to, and a lot of the details of that still have to be put in place. I'm not trying to say like we're completely ready for that, because we're not, but we have some tentative plans, and we have some things. We picked up actually just recently a dirt bike, and it's a 1990, so I know it's got it's got electronics in the ignition, electric in the ignition, not electronics really, but like nothing solid state. I don't think anything like that, but I don't think it would be EMP proof. But I believe that it's old enough to where it could be converted over just to a magneto at some point after I get it registered, clear motor vehicle. I'm gonna look into that. But that's another thing. Like
that's cool.
Not that it's a small bike, but it's we had a Road King back in Connecticut. That thing ain't no Road King. That Road King was a Cadillac, but if the two of us ever had to take off on it with a backpack, we'd be pretty burdened down. And
I have a question.
at our age, it'd be a long, hard ride, but it's an option, right? So,
Yeah. Hey, Monslayer. What's hammocking? So
hammocking is
hubby
camping
and
on a
I
hammock.
had really to go hammocking this weekend, but the wind gusts were bringing too many limbs down.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had one go
We
down,
had
come down on our little shed there.
crazy wind here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evan was doing that hammocking for a while. My son Evan and his buddies.
So these hammocks?
Yeah. Well, they're usually with a net built on. They have rain flies. They're like almost like a tent on a hammock. They have mosquito netting.
Cool.
So yeah, it is pretty cool.
Does it, and it moves and stuff?
Yeah, like a hammock. Yep. You put it up between two trees.
So that's what you sleep in.
Yep.
And then you just kind of hang out and by a fire and all, and then
Yep.
you go in there to sleep.
Yep.
That
They've
is
got
cool.
you got mosquito netting.
I want one.
Well, at our age, like and not
Yeah, I
only
guess
at our age, not at our age, because there's a lot of people that are a lot older than us that can do it. But with buyback,
I couldn't do it.
For 30 years. I wasn't sleeping in a hammock ever since my first back surgery. Like I gotta sleep on the hardest possible surface. I mean, for me, like in an emergency or away from home, the best place I could sleep is right on the floor, and that's usually what I'll do. I'll put
Quilts. I love quilts.
a blanket or a egg crate pad or gym mat or whatever right on the floor, and that's
you get the double, so we get the double, and then we could snuggle to go to sleep.
we could.
LOL.
We could.
Yeah.
We could.
We'd have to like.
I wouldn't be able to
customize it though. We'd have to like put like a piece of like wood on the bottom and then put our mattress on top.
Wow. And so like we got
do that.
a lot of you probably saw it. I did the video on the ghetto camper, which is just an enclosed cargo trailer, and I just made a wooden platform with storage underneath. And we actually get the memory foam. That's what we use here. We got another one for that, but it'd be the same one if it had to be. And just throw that in there. It's super comfortable, and we struggled with that too because we would have liked to have gotten a bigger one, but then you got like we wanted something we could pull behind. We have a Toyota small SUV. It's a Sequoia. It's a V8, but you're not pulling a 30-foot camper with it. I mean, they're rated for them. I've seen people do it. I would want to do it, but that 10-footer, like you don't even feel that thing. I pulled we have a small little lawn tractor with a leaf vacuum on it, and I pulled it down on my open trailer with it from Connecticut. You didn't even feel it on there. So,
Monslayer, it's 28th anniversary.
Oh wow! Happy anniversary, moms!
That's
28 years. That's awesome. That's awesome. What am I missing? Anything?
So Nighthawk Adventures. Hey, I can probably get you an army cot for you real cheap. Does wonders for your back.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Well,
freeze drying. He just got one for this freeze dryer. Might be a resource.
Oh, Gibson drum. I know Nina was looking at them. I think she's in the process of getting one, or was looking into getting one. Freeze dryers are awesome, right? Where I was looking at them, but I mean they're pricey, but there's nothing like freeze drying, in my opinion, for long-term food storage. That's the way to go. I mean, backpackers have been doing it for years, and it's definitely the way to go. Like a lot of solutions, they're expensive. Like I think going back to the well pump, I got a real good solution for getting water out of the ground when there's no power, but it's expensive. Like there's several options, and not to keep going back and forth, but generator would be one, and actually one of the least expensive. But then long term, when there's no fuel and stuff like that, maybe some kind of solar setup is better. Super expensive. Or we're actually thinking of like simple pump, and we have work to do because I don't even know where the wellhead is. It's buried somewhere under the sidewalk or off the sidewalk, and there's no sticker on the gear in the basement for a company that's ever worked on it. And so I got an idea where the pipe leaves the basement laterally, where it is, but I'm not sure how far out. So I got to try to get a metal detector or something to try to find the head, and dig it up, and then try to figure out how deep it is. Because we want to do a simple pump, which I think we kind of decided we do want to do that, and we're trying to save up for it or whatever. But in order, of course, to do it, we have to find the wellhead. And in order to do anything ever with the well or the pump, we're going to have to find the wellhead. So regardless of what we do, that's got to be on my list sometime, hopefully this summer. But anyway.
It's a long list.
It is. It's getting longer all the time. It's like you got a list with 100 things on it. You knock 3 things off and add 8 things, and now you got 105 things. It's like, well, no matter how hard you work, the list just grows instead of shrinks, which, you know, just the way it is. Again, I'm not complaining because I would actually love nothing more at this point to be able to get out there and chisel away at that list. But instead, I'm rooted to my chair. But it's been 10 weeks, so I'm hoping that, you know, it's going to start to turn the corner.
I think it is. I really think it's starting to.
Yeah.
You know? Yep.
Yeah. Although I've been sitting here about 45 minutes now with it down, and it's starting to hurt and throb. So it's just, it's the type of thing where, you know, if I'm sitting in my chair with it up, I recline back and I got, you know, on an angle like that with my foot up here, it feels pretty good. I put it down for half an hour and it's throbbing. But the Hummers were nice for sleeping with 3 sleeping wells in your fart sack.
And old man had company. Sorry.
I had company, so I didn't.
Oh,
okay. Well, sorry about that, old man. You can watch the replay though. I'm gonna keep it posted afterward. Yeah, those some feel comfortable, right? But they're a decent vehicle. But I, you know, actually saw an article once. I think I was in the doctor's office about some guy that was buying them from the military, but he had some kind of issue getting them registered. I don't remember the full details on it, but you know they're exactly a 4-wheel drive vehicle. I always liked Toyota. I've always been a Toyota guy. I had some of the back in the late 70s, early 80s, and Toyota made their pickup with the 22R 4-cylinder. Back then, they didn't even offer a 6-cylinder option. And they had the solid front axle. That was, I've had a few of those, and those were a pretty solid, dependable, you know, like rock solid truck. I had an 84 Land Cruiser too, which had the old straight 6 Land Cruiser motor in it. And that was another good rig. And
I love
thing
Land
was
Cruisers.
geared so low. I mean, that thing could climb a tree. But of course, the fuel mileage is terrible. But when you're dealing with mega torque, that's the sacrifice you make. I think the one I had was an 84. And I didn't buy it brand new, but I think the sticker on it was 13 miles to the gallon. But you couldn't, as far as a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I had the wagon model. In that 84, they weren't making the FJ6 anymore, I don't believe. Or the 45. What's that?
No, we just want family's important.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi, Daniel. God is my judge.
Hey, Daniel, how's it going, brother?
And this is Timo. That's because I'm thinking my name is Linda LaForme. That's my maiden name. But I should change it. Like,
you could.
Mrs. Timo.
Yeah. But then you want to put your last name on there anyway, because then we don't want to go down that road. But then you can get all kinds of trouble. We can put a little map with our pinpoint where we're looking, so people want to stop in, and now it's in the middle of the night. But not to do that other problem. Daniel, God is my judge, was one of my first subscribers. Daniel, do you remember? Because I don't know the answer to the question. How many subscribers I had when you subscribed to my channel? But I'm betting it was under 300 because you were, not that I'm a big channel now anyway, but back then I know Daniel was one of the first people that regularly engaged in the comments. And so it's, for whatever reason, I want to mention that because I see him popping in here. And he's got a good channel too. He's a gun guy, so he's got some gun content. I like to watch those gun channels. So we probably should start to wrap it up. We're at 50 minutes, and feels like I'm starting to ramble. Like if I ever had anything to say, I'd say it, right? But you know, a couple things. couple shout outs. Daniel's one of them. He's got a good channel. Backwoods Law has got a good channel. He's starting to put up some decent content, and with his leather work and different things that he's been doing, he did his cook set modifications there, and just some good general prepping knowledge. It's a good channel to check out, Backwoods Law. The other one is Ken Thomas, my friend Ken Thomas, Teddy's Gun Shop. I think the channel is under his name, Ken Thomas. But he's a backyard engineer. He makes some pretty cool stuff. Another one is Rescue Boss. Rescue Boss, and recently, it seems to me, I saw some knucklehead commenting, some troll commenting on his videos, like, whatever. I guess, you know what? When you get that, you know you're doing something right, because haters gonna hate and like whatever. But Rescue Boss is straightforward, no nonsense. Here's the information. It's all good. It's all factual. It's through his lifetime of experience working in the medical field, emergency responder, and there's no fluff. There's no, it's all just straightforward, down to earth stuff. I love Rescue Boss's channel. And so I urge anybody, of course, most people that are watching me probably already subscribe to Rescue Boss.
Meetups.
Yeah.
Sergeant Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
Lost my porch sighting. Wow.
What's that?
Daniel God is my judge. He lost his porch sighting. He says
I guess
it's so windy
everywhere. It's been Linda's daughter lives in Nashville. She was saying the same thing.
Wow.
Like, yeah, flooding, and it's died down now, but it was crazy windy all day here in Ohio. Daniel's saying it's windy there. I know, I don't know what it is, but I don't see how it could be everywhere. But I guess it can be, because it is. But yeah, meetups. Well, so okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Last year, in September, I went to the Diggers meetup in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I met several friends from YouTube, and some of them are in this channel right now. And it was awesome. We had a great time, and I'm looking forward to doing it. He's talking about maybe hosting another one this fall, and possibly doing an overnight type thing, like a camp out or whatever. I would love to do that. We have a couple friends that are in here that are going to come down sometime. My ankle gets better, figure out a time, but maybe April-ish, right? Or we were talking kind of that general area. I got to be able to get out there. Like, nobody wants to come visit while I'm sitting in a chair, but we're going to do that. And then there's talk of several other meetups here and there. And, I think it's important, right, to
power is out too.
Make friends online through YouTube. You're going to get to a point where you're going to want to meet, right? Or not, maybe not, but ultimately, I think that's, for me anyway, I'll just speak for myself, that's kind of the goal, right? That's kind of where it's like, you don't want to meet every single person you come in contact with, but, you want to expand your network and your community and turn cyber friends into real friends, right? We met Sergeant Mike, came out for a visit in November.
I think it's October.
Yeah, and so for us, that's a goal. I guess bottom line, that's all for me. For me, it's a goal.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Bobby?
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And so, yeah, it's important. So I think, and everybody's goals are different. And some people, they don't ever want to meet anybody. And I guess that's okay too, just because I can have my perspective doesn't mean it's right for everybody. But my goal is, if you become friends, you want to meet in person. You want to get to know people outside of the realm of YouTube or whatever. And at the same time, then that's community building. That's expanding our community, right? It doesn't mean you're going to all end up in groups or whatever. It just means it's just more people that you know everywhere throughout. I don't say throughout the country, although it could be, but most of the people that I have met and am planning to meet are on this part, in this part of the country, or at least on the East Coast, let's just say. Am I going to travel out to Washington State to meet someone on YouTube. I guess it depends who it is. Right now, I don't see that happening, but that doesn't mean it's wrong either. I know there are people that will travel further, and that's up to each individual, I guess, right? Any parting words of wisdom, honey?
No. But this was fun for my
fun.
first one. So.
Yeah, I like to try to get into a regular thing, like a regular, not necessarily a schedule, but maybe try to do one once a week, or I don't know if this is the best time or the best day or whatever, but just playing around with different ideas.
To church at this time.
Right, normally on Sundays we go to church. We didn't with my ankle. I went in the morning, and if I get out once a day, that's a good day for me. So, but anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the super chat, FLP and Miss Nina, and or X, I should say, Prepper X. Got the X representation right here. Okay, but appreciate each and every one of you coming in and joining us on this Sunday afternoon and getting to meet my wife. Some of you for the first time, some of you not for the first time, but I'm trying to talk her into getting more involved in the videos and the live streams, and she put in her notice to retire at the end of this school year.
I did.
So of course that she's still going to do sub work. She's going to do subbing. She's an instructional assistant in the school system, but maybe with that she'll have more time to get involved with me, because I feel like anything I could put on here is better with her anyway. So I like to encourage her to do that. And you all can give us your feedback if you enjoyed it. Then you can encourage her.
They're reviewing that. Thanks, you guys. It was nice spending time with you too.
And Norton.
Well, maybe later, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just everybody saying goodbye.
Yeah.
All right.
Just be careful out there with the wind. The
Good
trees.
advice in every situation, every single day.
Yeah.
There's never, ever going to be a moment in our lives where be careful is not good advice. Right?
Thank you, Gibson girl. I need new glasses. Oh, they're still chatting.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good afternoon, good evening. Love y'all.
Thanks for the chat.